I didn't see it when I took all the wash out. Hi, all. Pickups unboxing. Got some Dollar Tree, Walmart, and I went to Weiss Markets. I got some. Pretty much, it's all Hot Wheels stuff. But like, I got these. This was from Dollar Tree. I got new for 2025 Drift Ender. Mazda AutoZam. New for 2025 Hato Roto. A new for 2025 Morgan Super 3. Cool three-wheeler. And then I got Hecko Type D. This is the first one of this one they ever did. So then I'll show what I picked up at Walmart. I actually got two different ones of this. My wife got me a little pencil case for Yoda. I also got a Jurassic Park one, which I took upstairs because also at the dollar store I got a pair of Iron Maiden socks. So I was like, yay. But I got new for 2024 Rapid Pulse. It's an ambulance. New for 2023 Limited Grip. I actually got to see. I have to go back and look at a lot of the ones I got. El Sandungo Coupe. This is new for 2023. And then today when I went to Weiss, I picked up a couple of them. I got Alpha Pursuit. Batman Arkham Asylum video game. Batmobile, it's like a goldish. I'm doing my video, Keegan.
But
what
did
do
you
need?
See my shin guards in the wash?
No, I told you. Last time I saw your shin guards, they were in the living room. Small block, taxi. Road Bandit. Tricked out school bus. Another one for 2025. Hot Wheels Formula Solar. I don't even know if I had it because I buy these. I don't remember what. I mean, there's so many cars. I wish they actually made a checklist. You can go and actually make a printout and check them. So this way I can get like a whole year's worth. Pixel Shaker, and if they make different color variant, it would be nice if they actually did that. New for 2025. Amaro GTC. This is the car I bought. That actually was cool. This is a 1971 Dodge Challenger. I really like the color scheme of that, even though I'm not really a big orange person, but except to drink. And then okay, this finishes this series. I got Alter Ego Fights Crime #5. So I have this series finished, the Alter Ego series finished. So that's boom, one more series down. And now this box. Now all I got coming is I think one more comic book that I bought on Friday, and I got 10 long comic book boxes, which I really have no room for any more boxes, so I'm gonna have to double stack. So what I'm gonna start doing with like a lot of the series is I have almost a 300 book run of Action. I'll stick those books in the bottom, put a lid on, and then put the thing on top, and I'll just write on the thing a little marker like issue 300 to 700. But here's these books. Now I bought these on eBay, so these weren't no quarter or $1 books. So my own tabs. I'll start off with this pile. Oh, that hurt. Adventures of Superman, number 490. You know what? Let me just put all these in and try to put them in order so this way I can actually do it by series. Probably be better off. Okay. I already started with the Adventures of Superman. So I don't remember ordering that, but I guess the guy threw that in for me. Hey, that's good. I'm going to just put these over here real quick and do this one. Because I'm making supper tonight, so we're doing tacos. Well, this finishes this series, so I'll just show it. Age of Reptiles number 3. When I went to a comic book sale at a guy's house, the guy gave Keegan 3 of the 4 issues, and I was shocked how much they wanted for this one. So I was like, but I already showed you the one, Adventures of Superman. I'm trying to finish 4 to 500, so I got 477. These are going to be in really no order. 493. 491. 462. 494. 489. And 472. I think for this, now to finish that up to 500, I think I need 2 or 3 issues now. Let me just flip these where they go real quick. So I'm trying to work on another 100 of Action. Okay. I'll start off with now Action, what I picked up of Action Comics. Action Comics, 679, 680, 675, 676, 677, 664, 674, 678, and 670. I picked them up. I got 2 books for 1985 by Marvel. I got the second print variant of #1. And I just need 1 book and the series is finished with all the variants. I got the left side. I need the right side. I need the other side now to go finish this double cover. And I have this series and all the variants finished for this. I also picked up Avengers Unplugged. Should be issue 4. And I got issue 6. I have issue 5 coming, so this series will be finished when I get them. And then I picked up Avengers Celestial Quest, issue 2, issue 7, and issue 8. That finishes that series off. Then I picked up Artemis Requiem, #1, #2, and #5. This series is finished. And, okay, I already showed off Alter Ego. That was from the other guy. Okay, there's 1 book here that I did not get. I needed 4 books to finish the Amalgam universe. And I picked up Dark Claw's Adventures, #1. JLX Unleashed. And the Spider-Boy Team-Up. I also bought, which I'm waiting, I have the Lobo the Duck. I bought that, but it was supposed to be in with these, and I guess it's not. Because I get that, I have the Angelmine. That series done. Well, picked up 4 Aquaman Volume 5 titles. Issue 26, issue 53, 72, and 75. I already have volume 1 through 4 completed. And with these, and I need 4 issues, and I have volume 5 completed. And then I got these. Let's see if I can put these in order real quick. All New Adam. Issue 7.
Papa,
Issue 8. What, Keegan?
you coming to my soccer practice with me?
No, I'm going to be making tacos while you're gone. 9. Issue 13. Issue 14. Issue 22. And issue 25. Now, I finished the All New Adam. And they sent me this Predator #1. After over 30 years of being published by Dark Horse Comics, Marvel Comics is taking over the reins of the Predator franchise. Cyberspace Comics has partnered with Marvel Comics to create an exclusive variant cover of Predator #1 illustrated by Jurgen Yoon. This variant has a limited print run of only 3,000 copies. To show our gratitude to our customers, both loyal and new, we are providing you with a free copy of our exclusive variant of Predator #1. We hope you enjoy this token. I do. This is nice. A thing. Show it off. And that's it. That's what I got. Finished off a couple series. Added some Hot Wheels. Like I said, I'm waiting just for I think 1 or 2 packages in the 10 long boxes because I'm trying to get all the stuff I put away. I'm trying to get it in order. I got to start. I got a lot of videos of complete series to do. So. My brother died last week, and we're having a lot of problems with that. My dad's wife. Well, it started off. This is just crazy stuff. My family. My brother had no kids. My brother was never married, and it was always said to my daughter growing up that the house everything would end up hers, even my stuff, because that's the only grandkid of our blood. Is my daughter. My dad told me on Sunday that my daughter can move into the house. And I said, you won't have to worry about her. Her and her boyfriend will pay all the bills. My dad, for 15 years, my dad's been paying all the bills in the place for my brother. So I was like, okay. He's like, okay. Well, then 2 days later, he calls. Oh, I'm going to sell the place. I'm like, no. That was never on the table. To find out, his wife is pushing to sell the place. And I said, no, if you're going to sell the place, then we want to buy. I wanted to stay in the house because that was my mom's parents' house. That was my grandpa Hank's, my grandma Mary's. My grandpa let my mom and my dad live there until he passed away. Then the thing, it went to 1/3 to each kid. So my mom and my dad took a loan out and bought it off my aunt and uncle. Also, to find out, back in the day too, my grandfather and grandmother, Carnivali, had a plot of land up in Moscow for my parents. Since they took a loan, my parents had to give back the plot of land. This is the craziest stuff I ever thought. I'm like, I have only 4 things left of my grandfather. I've got nothing to remember my grandma from. All I got left from my Carnivali grandparents is this cash register that's behind me that I'm missing a crank bar for, and I gotta get a thing. It does plug in. I know it does, but it doesn't really. I can't work without the crank bar. Is that my grandfather over the years gave me a Miller beer sight, and when he passed away, I got 2 giant Budweiser pocket watch clocks. Well, I also got 2 1947 Redman chewing tobacco. One's Bobby Thompson's, another, but they're not in great shape. But every time I look at them, they remind me of my grandfather. Well, to find out, over the years, my dad gave away 2 of my beer signs. Everything I just gave them to somebody that was having a bar. Gave away my Miller beer sign. Was the only thing my grandfather ever gave me while he was alive. Gone. The other pocket watch he gave, and I'm glad that I had this pocket watch somewhere where he didn't know where it was, or that'd probably be gone to somebody. He didn't even bother asking. I was like, fine, he's my father. What?
I put the hamburger in the microwave.
Okay, I'll get it. So, there's that. Now, lo and behold, history's repeating itself, and I always said, the sad name is my dad's wife. We went up there, she waited till everybody was out of the room. And all that was in the room was me, my dad, and his wife. And my dad's wife comes in, she's like this, your brother hated your guts. He didn't want you up there. And I'm like, she enjoyed that. And I'm like, I don't care if my brother hated me or I could, but anytime he needed something from me, didn't stop him from calling me. And I would do it just to keep the status quo of my dad happy. My daughter's beside herself, and I can see why, because usually when I used to go up there every week before he got married to her, my dad would be, the first night he was never there because he was on a date. And I'm like, you want me to bring your granddaughter up, but you are not spending time with your granddaughter. And she made the comment also too, this is how big of a hypocrite she is. My dad just went down, I think, to Florida or North Carolina, wherever her brother lives. But it was like over a 14-hour drive. She made the comment to me, well, he's not going to go up to, Old Forge and be doing the work on the house. And I'm like, I'm not asking him to if we get the house, if my daughter gets the house. I go, they could easily get, when they're job, they can easily get a home mortgage, a home equity loan and get the work done, whatever's wrong with the house. No, we're selling it. It's not he's selling it, it's we're selling it. That means her and him. And I'm like, that house you had nothing to do with ever. That house wasn't even, but I just let it go. I just kept it myself. But here's the thing about it. She had no plan. She had no problem of my dad driving all the way 14 hours and do work for her brother, but making a big stink to sell the house because he doesn't. I don't want him doing work there. Hypocritical? I think it is. Then also too, she always for years I always thought that this woman also too did all this charity work for this, playing the organ at churches, out of because she found out she's getting paid. I'm like, okay, you're not as religious as are you, hypocrite. You come off as holier than thou, and do what I say, don't do as I do stuff. I kept my mouth shut. I just told my wife, I said, this has become a freaking nightmare. And I said, I went through hell with my dad's parents and all kinds of crap. And I said, if this ever happens, I said, I don't want to be a Carnivale. I said, because I'm at the thing, my brother ruined the Carnivale name in Old Forge. Between drugs and, I told you the story about Mr. Pritchett. 92 passed away, but he was very, very good to me. And I found out very weird way. It made me sick when I found this out, that a lot of the Jaws cards I had, sticker-wise, were stolen. My brother and a friend of his broke into his garage and stole the stuff. And see, this is when my brother decided, I get all the non-sports cards and all the other sports cards. First of all, I didn't have any football, hockey, or basketball left. My brother took all the baseball cards. And I was wondering why I was working and my brother never had a job and always had more money than me. Of course, he was selling stuff, and to this day, I'm still, and then also I found out eventually over time he was stealing from me too, because like my first appearance of X-23 disappeared. My first appearance of Cable, my first appearance of Deadpool, thanks to Spiro.Geek, I ended up completing the New Mutants Volume 1 and getting the Deadpool off of him. But I even said to my dad, I said, a long time before John, I went up there, and he was having a garage sale. And lo and behold, a lot of stuff that he was selling was still stuff of mine that he said that wasn't there anymore. I mean, my Christmas stocking with my name on it, Joey. I'm like, who's going to buy a Christmas stocking from the 70s that's sort of ratty? I got that back after he threatened, to shoot me. And of course, my brother had firearms, and he was a convicted felon. And I always told my dad, why is it when there's I never understood why there's a specific, how he treated me and how he treated my brother differently. To this day, I'm still dumbfounded because he knew my brother was doing stuff that was shady and nothing about it. Now, when my mom was alive, that shady shit never happened in the house. She couldn't control him while he was outside, but I'm like, I didn't want to lose that house because it meant a lot to my mom, me, and it meant a lot to my daughter because my daughter was supposed to inherit my mom's jewelry and my dad sold it all. And he said he was going to give my daughter. And this has already gone on. He's my father. I don't want to start a fight. I let him do whatever I let him want. He gave my daughter a cheap imitation ring. And I was like, all the thousands of dollars of the stuff disappeared. And I'm like, Lex, I go, you just gotta I said, but I go, if anything happens now, I think I'm officially over with dealing with it and trying to be the better person. Because my friend Al and all my friends are like, Joe, you're a better person. You just sit there and you don't want to argue about it. But I think I have to. I don't know, John had no will, had nothing, but I had enough people that he said it in front of family members, relatives, that they all knew. And the fact of this matter is that I would say it in Polish, but I don't want it because I don't want to get banned from YouTube. But her is causing him to do all this stuff. And I'm like, and my mom never told him what to do. My dad always did his thing. My mom always did her thing. But this woman is like, she tries to control me, tell me what I should eat, and I told her one day, I'm like, you know what? I'm in pain most of the time with my back. I always have the thing right here in my lower back. I go walking to go shopping. My legs would go numb, or I get tingling in both. Like pain, like radiating to the feet. Depends on how long. I said when I always did the work for I said a job that would have took me a month took me over a year because I can only do so much, and that's how it is. And I know one of the fellow comic communities, Rick, is going through the same stuff. And I've talked. In fact, at one convention before Lisa Loring passed away, I met her and found out she had back problems. Me and I actually had a nice 30-minute conversation, and I told her too because she was seeing not a chiropractor, an orthopedist. And I told her, I said, I made the mistake of going to see an orthopedic doctor who fused my back. And if I had to do it all over again, I would have saw a neurologist first. You're dealing with your spine, you're dealing with your nerves. Orthopedics, they'll want to fuse your back. Rods, cage, and I have what they call failed back syndrome. I mean, one of the few things that, brings me joy is seeing my collecting, finishing some series. When everything is said, and one of the things I keep saying, eventually my channel is going to evolve, and I'm just like, I keep waiting for it to happen, and it's just like slow because, the taxes. I keep buying, and I keep I should actually stop for a while, but it's like I'm so ingrained in this. It's like if I didn't collect I'd probably be very, very depressed. Because this is like one of the few things I actually get. I look at stuff and I think to myself, like, my mom bought a lot of stuff. I go up in the attic, which is like my fortress of solitude because I made the door up there. I go up there and it's like I can sit up there for hours, lay down flat on my back, flip through books. You sit on the bean bags I have up there, and go through books. I still haven't reading. I keep saying I plan on reading them because a lot of the series that I read, I don't remember them, and I get confused. And it happens with everything. Nobody remembers everything. But all the stuff that I've been going through has made me this whole week. I actually haven't been sleeping. I've been sick to my stomach over this stuff because it's like all hypocritical talk. And I always said to somebody, if you're going to say to your kids, well, I'm going to take you to Disneyland, and you never do, then don't say you're going to take them to begin with. Just say, done. I'm not taking you. Because my dad was famous for doing that. I mean, all the years that I grew up, me and my brother always asked to go to Disneyland. Finally, when he took us, I was 16 years old, and it happened to be like, it was like really hot waiting. Me, my brother, and my mom did not enjoy our trip to Disney. In fact, when I went to Disney last time, I didn't enjoy my trip to Disney. All I wanted on my trip to Disney was I wanted to build my own lightsaber, and I didn't get to do it. And didn't know. I thought my wife, I'm still paying for that Disney trip now. I think it's 3 or 4 years later because she stuck it all on credit cards. And I was like, if I knew that, but there's this old saying, happy wife, happy life. We took the kids, we took Lexi, we took our grandkids. The grandkids had a good time. Me and Kelly didn't really have a great time. But what we had a good time was when we were at the house because we belong to a timeshare, which I think I had 32 weeks total after we got it. And we've belonged to this timeshare now for as long as we're married, easily 20 years. And I think out of the timeshare, we only use like 5 weeks because a lot of times it's like, well, first off, I really can't. I have no vacation. So it's like, how far away? If I have to drive, forget it. So usually it's my wife has to drive. It's periods if she can get the time off from work. So it's like, in fact, I let my buddy Al use 1 week. And then there was a problem with the place he stayed that the washer and dryer didn't work, and there was a problem with the one sink. So they didn't actually, because these places, they'll let you keep it. They won't let you use it. They'll keep it because, hey, you have a monthly maintenance fee, so they're still making money on me. But that's what my wife wanted. The place that we stayed in Florida was beautiful. I actually had a built-in pool in the place, and it was nice. I really did enjoy that place. I even said to my wife, I said, I would go down there just to sit down there and travel around Florida to see what else is in Florida. Not go, even though we did enjoy Universal Studios better than we did Disney. Because I even had talked to somebody in Disney. I go, the sad thing is, not only that one place, there was a couple other stations where they had build your sword, but they weren't open. I'm like, everybody went to that one. I would have been happy if I built this. I didn't have to go to the one that they're always pushing. The one that everybody's like going, and I could have built it at another station. I didn't need that whole thing. Just give me a cyber crystal, boom. Because I ended up bringing home a droid, and it's like, I did get some Disney exclusive toys, which to me, everything I own and everything I do comes to go back to remember stuff on. Every time I see that, I remember my grandfather. It's instant. I come down here, I see that, boom, my grandfather. When I hang up the light, that I'll remember. But when I go through all my stuff, I see, just now Al bought me, what's the Valley of the Dinosaurs? I'll think of Al. Al bought that for me for my birthday. I got the one issue of the Chameleon that Dynamite Crib Pete bought me. I have tons of books that my mom bought me. I have books, every once in a while, it's like, a story behind a book or a story behind how I got stuff. Like I look at my toys, and a lot of the older toys my buddy Lou gave me. And it's funny because he even says to this day, he goes, I wanted you to sell them and make money. And I'm like, that's not me. Everybody's like, oh, I'm greedy. I'm like, well, not really. It's just, I want to own a museum. I would like to have a nonprofit museum where, I see all these guys in the, I'm like, but it's your collection. I would like to open my stuff up to where everybody can see it. It's open to everybody. I would like to have a nice building, display the comic books behind glass in order. Here's number 25. This is number 26, and have them all where you can see it. And even be like the rare books museum, books things like when you go to Cooperstown, they have people that have yearly memberships to the Hall of Fame, have a yearly membership to the Kingdom of Collectibles, and you want to read a certain issue, you go into the rare books thing, you wear white gloves, and you sit there and you can read an old book under supervision, something like that, like a real museum type atmosphere. Right now, I just do all this stuff as a virtual museum where I show the comics off, flip through them. Hey, this is number 1. This is number 2. This is the first appearance of Sinestro, like that. I would actually like to have it where, they can see all the stuff like the Looney Tunes glasses, have displays going by year, see the evolution of Spider-Man from the 60s to today, and have start with the 1960s and then actually have a small television set or a small monitor for 1966 and actually play, hey, there's this cartoons from this 1966 Spider-Man show, and actually have them as you go, the evolution of Spider-Man. Same thing with the toys. Have the comic books and the toys from that year try to match up. You can still see the book, but then see hey, here's the 1972 Mego Spider-Man. Something like that. Because I see all these guys that have this, the guy who had the superhero museum in his house, he didn't have it any rhyme or reason. He had all kinds of mishmash. There was Batman. There was 1930s Batman, with 1950s Batman, 1990s Batman, and there's no rhyme or reason. It was just Batman, and it's you couldn't see the evolution or how it evolved. And I was like, okay, I would do it this way. And that's, that's how, and like me, I like to keep things also in the family too. I know my daughter, my daughter told my wife, she goes, when dad dies, I don't even know where to begin to what, is going on. And I always told my daughter, I said, if I die and you want to sell the stuff, open up a store. I go, you have instantly a store pretty much of anything. A toy store, a comic book store, a card shop, an antique shop, because I have the glasses, I have mugs, I have, all kinds of stuff. I go, you could do a game and hobby store, or used video games or movies. I go, you have enough of everything that you can do whatever you want with it. To me, I would rather her continue on with my idea of having some kind of a museum. That's my ultimate goal out of life. That's why if you look here, why do you think I have all the glasses? These are all plexiglass now. Behind plexiglass in the bar, all backlit. The only part I don't have done is that corner there, because those shelves over there are, I still need 2 Marvel glasses for the 7-day Marvel set. I need 4 Woody Woodpecker glasses. And I need 2 1966 Batman glasses, Joker and Penguin, and 1 Battlestar Galactica glass. And I actually have room for one more set, a set of 4 I can buy. And I was debating, what set should I actually go for on that set of 4? Should I go for Masters of the Universe or Goonies? Now, Goonies has, every time I hear the name Goonies, I think of my Aunt Gladys. That was she loved that movie. I have, of course, my Aunt Gladys never gave me nothing of that. But every time I used to go to Buffalo, her and my mom and we would go to the big flea market up there out of Tonawanda. And actually, believe it or not, the place where I'm getting my long boxes are actually a guy's shop that I used to go to when I used to go up there all the time with my mom and my dad when we used to go visit my aunt. And it's funny how, to this day, I'm still buying this stuff, but I've been getting it shipped. I can't handle. Last time I was actually in Buffalo, my wife drove, and like now my feet are tingling because I'm sitting on them too long. But it's that. But this is just like, I started telling the story about what's going on and all this stuff. I don't want to get a lawyer. And if my dad doesn't come to his senses, I'm going to lose my family home that was our home for 3 generations. And that will make me cry and that will make me sad. But I always tell people, you can only control yourself. You can't control it. And you know what? I can sit here and get good, valid points. But if you can't, if the person's not going to, like my dad's wife, she didn't give a crap if I told her, I said, listen, it won't cost Dad a dime to have that house. All she kept, as my one friend said, all she's worried about, where's her next vacation coming from? Like, people make, she made a comment about, well, why don't I, do it? I'd rather, collect stuff that's tangible instead of going to a casino and blowing $100 a week. That's what my dad's wife does. And I'm like, I'd rather have something down the road that can probably eventually be worth something or has some kind of, heartfelt attachment to. I see, I look at these glasses that are behind, and I can remember when I was a kid drinking out of some of them, and of course some of them broke. I can remember watching Underdog on the Land of Hatchie Malachi, and Go Gophers. I can remember watching, Mighty Mouse cartoons, Dudley Do-Right, George of the Jungle, Speed Racer, Johnny Sato and his Flying Robot. I can remember watching Godzilla when it used to be air on the weekends. I can remember watching The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Space 1999, UFO. I mean, the list keeps going on, and all that stuff brings back memories. My dad don't remember nothing. My dad tells me I have a better memory than he does, and I'm like, well, I technically, over the years, when it comes to stuff, I associate stuff with other stuff. That's why I end up being memory. I get to memorize it. When I was a kid, I never had the moon glasses or any of those superhero glasses. Didn't even know they came out with them until I started collecting comic books. But I knew we had the Tom and Jerry glasses. I had the Rocky and Bullwinkle. I had the Underdog. I had a lot of the cartoon glasses, the Looney Tunes. Of course, I didn't have Slowpoke Rodriguez when I went to do that. Slowpoke was the most expensive glass that I paid for, and I think I paid around $60 for it. But when I was doing the glasses, I was amazed at, the prices, what people were getting for them, or what they were trying to get for them. This whole thing about these people with the buy it now price, to me, is not what it's worth. It's what you think, it's what you want to get for it. To me, what it's worth is what did it actually sell for the last time it went up on auction, where people were bidding against it. And you'll find out most of the time, guess what? It's worth a hell of a lot less than with these guys. But it's like when you go to a show, anybody can put a dollar tag. I can sit there and say, hey, you know what? I want 10 grand for this car. I can put down, VHTF. Very hard to find on this, or rare. Is it really? It could be hard to find. You never know. But, all those little things, it's like, you can just imagine, like when I go to like some flea markets or some games, like on the one time I went to the flea market, there was a Happy Days board game. The guy wanted $200 for it. The sad thing is, the next week I went to another flea market or something. It was on Facebook Marketplace. I saw it. I picked it up for $25. And find out it wasn't worth $200. It was worth around maybe $50 because I started going on this game thing. In fact, I have to update my game, but I'm already over 600 board games. And I'm actually, wondering, I'm running out of room to where to store them. Because I did put the finish to one side. In fact, I'll show you. Two. This was the last side I worked on. The glasses. All behind plexi, so now I don't got to worry about the cat. I took the fire extinguisher out, hooked it up. Of course, the sticker don't want to stay. But I bought rubberized stick molding, which doesn't want to really do a good job on the corner. So if I had to rate this stuff as actually to use for putting for corners, I would rate this probably a 4 out of 10. It does look good, but it doesn't really adhere too good. And I forgot how much I paid for it. But I actually think the bar came out pretty good. I still have to get a piece of trim for up here, and I still have to paint this side to match the white, because the trim will cover that, and that'll get all white. And I'm actually going to get a different piece of cloth up here. I don't know what I'm going to get this. Do I keep it sports, or do I buy like a Transformer DC Marvel piece and just do that and make it a superhero? Because I have I actually have 4. I bought 4 Steeler stools. And I do want to put by the cash register one of those arcade ups that is like made for like a table. But because I already got this side, and I'm going to start my next project. I'm going to start is the bar that you can see coming down the steps. It's like right over here. I'm going to fill in that, move the printer down there, and have it to where this side going up will be facing that way, and I'll have 3 different displays. As you come down, you can come down. I'm thinking about doing a Smurf display for what I have of the 1980 Smurfs. having another display of what me and Anthony Optimus Tron has done with painting miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons, and probably the other one make that a display of like what sports memorabilia stuff I have that can't be stored. I have 2 Top Fuel dragsters. I have 2 funny cars. Top Fuel dragster, I have a Budweiser car with Louis the Lizard like being peeled back, and then I have a Superman one. Then the top Fuel cars, funny cars, I have Superman one and a Spy versus Spy one, and now I have one over NASCAR car. I have a Kiss car, and there's another Kiss car. So I was thinking about getting them and putting them there, and what other collectible cans or bottles and stuff like that. I'm actually thinking about going all the way around on the top now too, building a thing that way, and each section have a theme. Because right now I have Penn State serving tray, and I have their Coke Championship bottles. And I was thinking, well, that'd be a nice place to put my diploma from Penn State, and to put the Penn State stuff as shown. And then I have some other Steeler stuff I could put, because I have the Steeler cabinet. I got Steeler stuff like out the wazoo, because that's what my mom always bought me, knew I was a Steeler fan. Even though I'll have to show one day a picture of me when I was younger. My dad worked for the government, and he used to go TDY. He got me and my brother confused back in the 70s. He brought my brother home a Steeler pair of pajamas. They got me Cowboys. So there's pictures of us wearing the opposite. And I've been a Steeler fan since the 70s, since probably like I was 4 or 5 years old. And my brother started off as a Cowboy fan in the 70s. 80s, he became a Philadelphia Eagles fan. And since the 90s, my brother's been a Raiders fan. Was a Raiders fan. Hockey, he really didn't go for hockey. Basketball, I couldn't tell you who was baseball, but I knew his football team, because every year on his birthday and Christmas, I always bought him Raider stuff. In fact, collectible-wise, he only collected NASCAR cards, and my dad said I can get them, and I'm like, I don't really want them, because I was big into that for a while, but not as big as I was into anything else. If my dad wants to give me it, fine. I won't say no. I'm just still upset over the house, because that house, like I said, was verbally, for years. In fact, when I called my godson, I called my friend Alan, that's his son, and he was shocked over everything. And he said, yeah, the house was supposed to go to Lexi. And I'm like, what are you going to do? I can't make, I can only control me. And I said, but one thing, I'm never going to go up to my dad's house in drums. Ever. Now that I know that lady's true colors, done. Because I know how I felt over the years being, with my dad's father. And I always known, because I can tell you stories and stories and stories. Like my brother had a chip on his shoulder that I was favored. And I used to always tell him, well, Mom and Dad never have to ask me twice to do anything for them. I said, it's not favoritism. It's what you do is what you get. And I told him that's why. He always brought up Uncle Lefty and Aunt Martha as my godparents. And I'm like, but they never showed favoritism. I said, John, when your birthday came around, they gave you $50. My birthday came around, they gave me $50. They didn't give me any more than they gave you. If they gave me an M&M dispenser, you got an M&M dispenser. I said, that's how it should be. I said, you can't treat one kid better than the other. But he always thought that he was slighted from everybody. And I just was like, tried to talk to him, and this thing never worked. In fact, the last time I talked to him, the man pointed a gun right at me, and he wasn't even supposed to own firearms. And I didn't want any problems, so I just let it go, and I never reported them. Because if I did, I could just see what my dad would have done to me at that time anyway, because it seems like my dad always favored him. I just let it go. Like when my dad comes down here, he's always telling me, don't tell Emma I ate this, don't tell him I did this. I'm like, I don't tell her anything. But yeah, this is what's been going on, and that's what I got. I am happy I finished off some stuff. I can't wait till I get those long boxes in to actually get stuff in put away and in order again. Because I'm actually gonna have to go through my collectors and start like really hitting that hard. But I'd like to thank all you people out there for viewing and subscribing.